I spent a lot of my time at the public library. It was one of the few places my mother would let me go on my own. And I actually wrote poetry and short stories before I started writing songs. So, and I think it wasn't, I never had made this conscious decision, no, now I'm going to write songs.
Contrary to the opinions of others, I don't think I'm cool at all. I definitely didn't grow up thinking I was cool. I was popular, but not because I was cool. Probably because I had a certain amount of independence.
Truthfully, the record company was strongly urging me to consider it. But I just, I feel like there's already so much to do, you know, just in going through life.
Have you ever wondered about the mysterious disappearance of Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill? One moment, these incredible queens were dominating the charts, and then, poof, they vanished into thin air. It's as if they witnessed something in Hollywood they weren't meant to see, leading to their careers being mysteriously silenced. But what if there's more to this story than simple burnout or bad luck? What if these powerhouse vocalists discovered the music industry's sinister underbelly and faced consequences for attempting to speak truth to power? Stay with me, because we're about to uncover some shocking revelations that will transform how you view your playlist forever. Picture this: Tracy Chapman, a humble street performer in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Can you believe this future Grammy winner was once singing for spare change? Fate intervened when a high-powered music executive discovered her raw talent at a local coffee shop, leading to a life-changing record deal. But don't be fooled. This wasn't the fairy tale ending it appeared to be.
Whose father's in the music business would come to some of my concerts and had seen me play at various places. He offered to help me make a demo tape. And the short story is that they did offer me a production deal, which then led to the record contract.
It seemed like overnight that Tracy Chapman went from singing on the streets of Harvard Square to winning 3 Grammy Awards in 1989. Her debut album sold more than 10 million copies. Critics have called her one of the most socially relevant songwriters of our time. After a couple of years of laying low.
Now, Lauryn Hill's journey followed a different path. She first made waves with the Fugees, crafting their distinctive sound. But it wasn't until she stepped into the spotlight alone that her star truly ascended. The miseducation of Lauryn Hill crashed into the music scene like a thunderbolt. And suddenly, everyone was captivated by this fierce, multi-talented artist who could sing, rap, and write with unparalleled brilliance.
It was like a complete blessing that there were people, not only in New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, New Jersey, who appreciated our music, but people out here in Amsterdam, you know, people in New Zealand and Australia and Africa were buying records from the Fugees.
These extraordinary women were absolutely unstoppable, shattering records and capturing hearts worldwide. Tracy's fast car and Lauryn's doo-wop, That Thing, launched them into a new stratosphere of fame. But beneath those million-dollar smiles and chart-topping hits lurked something sinister. Tracy faced relentless pressure to compromise her authentic image for marketability, while Lauryn discovered the music industry's cruel treatment of strong-minded black women who dared to speak their truth. Brace yourselves, because what happened next will leave you absolutely stunned. Oh, you thought Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill were living the dream? Think again. They were getting an up-close and personal view of the industry's darkest corners. We're talking about suffocating pressure to transform everything about themselves, vicious rumors swirling everywhere, and mysterious figures pulling strings behind the scenes. When these brave souls started asking questions, things turned ugly, fast. They began hearing disturbing whispers about industry practices that would make your blood run cold. And naturally, they kept pressing for answers. The music executives' response? They turned their backs on the very artists they once worshipped. Tracy realized the industry couldn't handle a strong black woman who refused to be confined to their narrow R&B box. As she boldly declared, "I think they do a disservice to their audience by only presenting certain types of music." Speak your truth, Tracy.
I don't even think that folk singer is really relevant either. There were all these people who were trying to tie me to, the 60s and 70s folk singers. And I like a lot of that music.
Let me tell you what happened next. It's absolutely shocking. 1 minute, Tracy and Lauryn were the industry's golden children, and the next, Complete radio silence. Their phones stopped ringing, and those same executives who used to chase them down suddenly became professional ghosters. Worse than your worst dating nightmare. But that was just the beginning of this nightmare. Tracy's new album, mysteriously delayed, Lauryn's highly anticipated comeback tour, canceled without explanation. And don't even get me started on that ridiculous creative differences excuse they kept throwing around. The entire industry seemed to be orchestrating a coordinated takedown with our beloved artist caught in the crossfire. The media joined this vicious circus, painting Tracy and Lauryn as difficult and unstable. Talk about a knife in the back, and Lauryn's situation with Columbia Records. That's where things get even messier.
A lot of people blame me for what has become of Lauryn Hill. And the fact that she's not out and about in the music industry. If you've read this far, you have to understand she and I had a very complicated relationship, and I take my blame, I'll take my blame for my side of the pain and confusion. No doubt my marriage hurt her, but the fact that she more or less left music behind can't be explained that simply.
But this wasn't just about some petty love triangle. Deep-seated power struggles were tearing the Fugees apart from within. Everyone wanted the spotlight, and nobody was willing to play second fiddle. Lauryn's meteoric rise clearly ruffled some feathers. You know how jealousy can poison everything it touches. It wasn't long before the inevitable happened. The Fugees imploded.
He talked about how him and Lauryn Hill kind of had there was like a love triangle. It was him, his wife, Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And he mentioned that Lauryn Hill got pregnant.
Okay.
Did you know about all this happening?
Man, I was counting my money, man, to be honest with you.
After the split, Wyclef and Pross went their separate ways, but their treatment of Lauryn was absolutely disgraceful. Wyclef was out there building his solo empire, completely dismissing Lauryn's musical contributions. And Pross? Let's just say he wasn't exactly championing her cause. All this betrayal and drama set the stage for Lauryn's heartbreaking downward spiral. She was battling personal heartbreak, professional betrayal, and an industry that had turned its back on her. Is it any wonder everything started crumbling?
You guys are still close. Did she tell you why she stopped making albums?
She just felt uninspired.
That's it.
That's it.
But hold on to your seats, because there's a shocking twist that nobody saw coming. In a 2005 interview, Lauryn dropped an absolute bombshell. She called her experience with the Fugees a conspiracy to control, to manipulate, and to encourage dependence. Just let that sink in for a moment. What horrifying secrets were hiding behind those closed doors?
She had also quit the Fugees, saying later the group was, quote, a conspiracy to control, to manipulate, and to encourage dependence.
And the drama is far from over. Just last year, in 2023, Pross hit Lauryn with a lawsuit that's left everyone speechless. He's accusing her of fraud and trying to grab too much money from their reunion tour. Lauryn insists it's all fabricated, but it just shows how deep this animosity runs. What could possibly have happened between them to cause such lasting bitterness? This is truly a cautionary tale of love, betrayal, and the music industry's dark underbelly. You think Lauryn had it rough? Wait until you hear about Tracy Chapman's battles. While Lauryn was dealing with the Fugees' drama, Tracy was fighting her own war. Industry bigwigs were desperately trying to mold her into something she wasn't, but she refused to compromise. Tracy candidly admitted that being in the public eye and under the spotlight's glare was, and still is, deeply uncomfortable for her. She remained steadfast in her authenticity, refusing to sacrifice her identity for record sales. That's the kind of integrity that's become practically extinct in today's industry.
And I take it you're not someone who, particularly enjoys being out in the public eye apart from your music.
Yeah, I'm not much drawn to the limelight.
We don't see you in the tabloids, for example.
I hope not. That's a doppelganger if you do see one. It was also kind of stressful for a person who likes to be pretty private, and
Standing up for her principles came with an astronomical price tag for Tracy. Her refusal to play the celebrity game infuriated the industry powers that be. When she released her second album, Crossroads, staying true to her artistic vision, it didn't achieve the astronomical success of her debut. The industry vultures started circulating whispers that Tracy was losing her magic touch, but we all know that wasn't the real story.
I had an opportunity then to make the second and the third record, which in some people's minds didn't do as well as the first record. And, I just felt like I wanted to do something other than
Then Tracy boldly ventured into new territory with Matters of the Heart, embracing an alternative rock sound that left some fans bewildered. The charts weren't particularly kind, but let's be real. Was this really about the music, or was the industry orchestrating a calculated punishment for her defiance? Every time Tracy attempted to release new material, mysterious obstacles materialized out of nowhere. Albums faced inexplicable delays, tours vanished into thin air. Sound frighteningly familiar? It's like watching Lauryn's story play out all over again. Those same industry experts who once couldn't get enough of Tracy suddenly couldn't spare a moment for her. It was as if they'd all received the same memo. Hands off Tracy Chapman. But Tracy, she stood her ground magnificently, continuing to create music on her own terms, even if it meant fewer releases and more intimate venues. In one of her rare, candid interviews, she acknowledged the painful truth. Her music didn't fit their rigid format, and they weren't willing to make space for her unique voice. Can you imagine having to justify your artistic integrity like that? She chose principles over popularity, but at what devastating cost? Remember when Lauryn blessed us with The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill? That album was pure fire, moving over 400,000 copies in just 7 days. Everyone believed she was destined to reign over the music world indefinitely. But then things took a bizarre turn. Lawsuits started flying from every direction, with people claiming they weren't properly credited for their contributions. Then those disturbing rumors about her mental state began circulating.
Miseducation shot to #1 on the Billboard chart and earned 5 Grammys, including Album of the Year.
How long is it going to take for this to sink in?
I don't know yet, but I'll let you know.
Hill disappeared from public view after the Grammys.
The real shocker came with her 2001 MTV Unplugged album. It was absolutely wild. Lauryn revealed that the album reflected her personal struggles, and in that haunting outro, she described herself as crazy, deranged, and emotionally unstable. People were left wondering, was this raw artistic expression or a cry for help? Either way, it had everyone talking. Lauryn started making cryptic statements about the industry too, as if she was desperately trying to communicate something but couldn't speak freely.
These are brand new songs that very few people have heard. Very much about, what I've been going through and what I've been learning. A lot of wonderful life lessons. Talking to people in my head too. It's all right though. Let's just warm up a little bit. Finish sucking my lozenge. And this particular song is called Mr. Intentional.
Then there's the mysterious chapter involving Brother Anthony. Some say he was Lauryn's spiritual guide, while others paint him as nothing short of a cult leader. Word on the street is he orchestrated Lauryn's complete isolation, cutting her off from her management, friends, and even family. It was like he deliberately extracted her from the music world, leading her into total seclusion.
Named Brother Anthony came into her life. Brother Anthony was a spiritual guide to Lauryn, and she spent several hours at his feet ingesting pure scripture. Some of Lauryn's closest friends, however, were not too fond of Lauryn's new companion.
And those performances, oh my goodness, the drama was endless. Lauryn would keep audiences waiting for hours, and when she finally appeared, the shows were completely unpredictable. People started labeling her as a diva who'd lost touch with her fans. In 2016, she tried to explain herself, saying they don't show up late because they don't care. Rather, the challenge lies in aligning their energy with the time. Now, some might dismiss this as new age nonsense, but what if there was something much deeper, much more troubling behind these struggles?
Say, yeah, she's late. She's late to late. Yo, y'all lucky I make it on this blood rise stage every night.
Okay.
Listen, Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill might have stepped away from the spotlight, but their impact, it's absolutely earth-shattering to this day. The tea is piping hot about how they're still revolutionizing the game. You might think they're yesterday's news, but their influence is everywhere. New artists are picking up their torch and running with it, carrying forward that same fearless energy that made these queens legendary.
Music is very powerful, and it does have the ability to inspire people, to motivate people, to educate people. For all those reasons, it can be used in a social or a political context.
And let me tell you something, people cannot get enough of their classic hits. It's like everyone suddenly remembered just how incredible Tracy and Lauryn's music truly is. New fans are discovering their genius for the first time, while day one supporters are falling head over heels all over again. It's a full-blown renaissance, and when either Tracy or Lauryn makes an appearance, the whole world stops spinning. Lauryn's been out there celebrating the 25th anniversary of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and fans are absolutely losing their minds. They're selling out venues everywhere, even with all the controversy about Lauryn's timing issues.
Lauryn Hill will be embarking on her 25th anniversary tour for her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Okay, and not just that, the Fugees will be reuniting and opening up for the U.S. dates of this show.
It's crystal clear that Tracy and Lauryn are still sending powerful messages, even in their silence. Their music continues to resonate, hitting just as hard as ever. Tracy's songs are being reimagined by everyone from Sam Smith to Justin Bieber, while Lauryn's lyrics, they're still making people think, still challenging everything we thought we knew about the status quo.
I gotta take it to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. You got a fast car. I wanna take it to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better.
One thing is absolutely undeniable. Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill have left an indelible mark on the music world that will never fade. They showed us what it truly means to stay authentic, to speak your truth, and to create music that matters. And that powerful lesson? It's still echoing through the industry, louder than ever, all these years later.
That we should constantly be aspiring, to reach higher and higher and higher. We should never be comfortable where we are. We should always be aspiring to know more and to better ourselves and to improve ourselves.
We've been on an absolutely wild journey through fame's darkest corners with Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill. These queens witnessed things in the music business that would absolutely terrify you, but their stories aren't just ancient history. They're a chilling reminder that behind Hollywood's glitz and glamour lurks some seriously sinister business. So what's the real takeaway here? Don't believe everything you see at those fancy award shows. The music industry has more secrets than your messiest group chat. Did this video leave you shook? Stay tuned because we've got more mind-blowing exposés coming up, where we'll pull back the curtain on all the darkness lurking in Hollywood's shadows.